And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut, it's Chris Burns, it's Chris Lynch, this is Dysfunction Junction.
Man, I ain't got no jokes to start off tonight's show. I don't want to have some jokes, but we are going to be Lynch heavy tonight because he's got stories, he's got things he wants to talk about. I have but one topic I'd like to talk about. Herm's here just to carry the heavy load. We welcome you. Take your ticket, put your feet up, look at the signpost up ahead. It says, welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Yeah.
I wanted you to think I was having a stroke for a half a minute there, just like
that, or you froze.
Yeah. What? But the circle didn't come up. The Netflix circle and Mike Tyson's ass. Don't do it. I see you
Mike
looking.
Tyson's ass.
From the fight a couple of months ago.
Oh yeah.
What are we making requests? What's going on? What?
No, we're not making requests. Stop that right now. Chris Burns.
I'm sure I can find that clip somewhere.
For real, I got that saved right here.
Yeah, Mike's got it saved. It was part of the show. Chris Burns here. You got the Possum King himself.
Chris Lynch. Producer
extraordinaire, the man with no hair, the 11th wonder of the world, or at least Baylor Avenue in Colorado. It's
What's up?
Big Herm, Michael P.S. Herman.
What's up?
Oh, so, man, just get it out of the fucking way. Whether you pray or not, doesn't matter. Very heartfelt well wishes go out to former President of the United States, Joe Biden. Prostate cancer, aggressive prostate cancer. And he's an 80-plus-year-old man. This is going to go faster than anybody thinks it will.
Well, there's no cure for this.
No.
Because of where it is at this point. It's only slowing it way down and retarding it, but never really stopping it.
Correct.
That's the option.
Mike, he's a bunch of shit.
Please.
He's got a bunch of shit going against him. His age.
Yep.
It's super advanced.
And I can't say the word, although it's gone to his bones. Methuselah.
Metastasized.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's metastatic.
How long have they known?
Well, I was going to lead into that in a little bit, but with all that against him, I 6 to 9 months, and that's being very generous.
Yeah,
I don't figure he makes the end of the. I don't figure he makes New Year's.
Really?
I don't think he makes Christmas.
Yeah, I literally don't think he rings in the new year.
I think he's gonna pope you both. He's gonna make New Year's. He's gonna see the ball drop. He's gonna shit his pants, and then he's gonna die January 1st, 2026. He's gonna go, Pope Francis on your ass. I made it through Easter. Gotta go.
He might. I mean, there's a bunch of variables, and I'm going to get into that in a second.
Well, you being a cancer survivor, you will be the person we're going to lean on the most. But I again, and I brought this up in our group chat, and if you guys out there have never seen one of our group chats, Herm will have to post one day just so you see what kind of shit would get us arrested in most countries and in several American states. I'm not going out on a limb.
And federally.
Yes.
I don't need no federal charge.
Right? I don't need no federal charge, bro.
Right? Mama said. Mama said. I don't want to get into conspiracies. The only question I had, I'm not going to go full fucking Tucker Carlson or Charlie Kirk here. You don't just wake up one morning and have advanced prostate cancer. The president takes a physical once a year. If he didn't do the PSAs, that's his own fault, and that's the only way I'm going to believe this, that they just found out he's got an aggressive form of cancer.
No.
They knew. They've got some splaining to do. And if the cancer, which ties into some of the dementia, who's been running the country during that time frame? Those are my only questions. I don't want to get deep in the weeds. I don't want to come off like, fucking Ben Shapiro did yesterday and calling out everybody in the government to stand on the carpet and get their pee-pee smacked. These are questions I think the American people deserve to know.
Well, I'm going to go on my little spiel about this.
Please.
I found out I had this brain tumor in August of 2016. It was pretty big. It was bigger than a golf ball. Thankfully, it was not malignant. And the doctor said something interesting. He said this type of tumor is very slow growing, and you've probably had this for years, and you're just now seeing signs of it because of where it's pushing on your brain. Having been close to and around people who have had prostate cancer and passed from it, anything over a stage 2 in prostate cancer is pretty much a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
It depends. It's just a sliding scale of variability as to whether it's years or months. With what I know about cancer and prostate cancer, his numbers give him very little time.
Radiation. What did they say? He was a 9 on the Gleason scale,
and that's very high.
Yeah,
that's very high. Okay. Referring to the Gleason scale is basically like saying we don't want to even say it's stage 4 because it's beyond that, and because it's metastasized.
Yeah, it's end stage. It's end stage. It's not even 4th stage now. There is no technically 5th stage with cancer, but what you have is you have 4th stage, and then you have end stage, and that's more like that. That's it. It's past where it's anything we can really do. It's comfort now.
Now I have experienced maybe one out of the group of people that I know that have had prostate cancer that has lived a long life because it was caught very early.
Usually, and that's why you're supposed to go in for prostate checks yearly. Prostate cancer can happen extremely fast.
Right.
Like Joe literally could have really 3 to 4 months, depending, given his health. 4 to 6 months is an actual legitimate number of when he knew he had it, which would line up with him backing the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
That's
right.
But that's given his previous cancer issues. 6 months ago, they may have known about it, but it could actually have spread that fast that everybody's like, it doesn't. Yes, actually, that particular cancer.
No, it can.
That's and it's known to, like, it's not uncommon. It's known to just blow through a man and just wreck him in a year.
Now, I've heard similar things, but I've also heard the other side where they say, prostate cancer is a slow mover. I guess it depends on. Yeah, go ahead, please.
It's person to person. There is no rule. There is no rule.
General health factors, right? Right. It is. There are cases where people have it and it's caught. There are places where people have just gone in, and we were just here 2 months ago, and now we're 2 months, and literally you're at stage 3 already. It's that fast. So, from person to person, legitimately, given the numbers that we have when he dropped out, if we're drawing broad brush lines, the numbers could and have, and we've seen in number those same numbers occur, and not we've seen them at random with pattern and trackable numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Or if for conspiracy theories, yes, could it also go the complete conspiracy theory way? Absolutely, but it could also completely line up with numbers that we know are real for advancement rates of this particular type of cancer and shit like that. Given his age, previous cancer problems, all of that.
I'm no fan of his, but then again, like I've said on the show before, I don't wish hateful shit on people. I do have a problem with some people out there who are demanding that leave Joe alone. He's got cancer, but cheered when our current president was shot at over the summer, and we're lamenting that they missed it by that much. That's as deep as I want to take it. I do hope he gets I hope he gets all the comfort that he needs and deserves. 80 plus years old. He's 50 years on the job as a politician. Whether or not he was any good, that's up to history to tell us. I know my thought on it, but I've always been a guy that respects the office and the person holding it. So yeah, Joe, not that you're ever going to listen to this, but I just hope for comfort for however long you've got. I really do.
I mean, Herm pretty much made my point for me. A lot of shit lines up. And a lot of the behaviors that you saw from him, because that shit takes the life out of you. You don't think straight. It takes every ounce of energy you have just to get out of fucking bed with that type of cancer, and especially since it's metastasized to the bone. Now, again, it could have been very quick. It could have been within 6 months. But a guy his age, the minute they find any type of, if his PSA numbers were elevated, they would have him piss testing quarterly because of his age and because
I would say once a month he'd be pissing for that test.
Quarterly
because he's the president. You and I would get checked quarterly. He's the president.
Right.
He's getting checked
every 2 weeks.
The average man of his age, walking around planet Earth right now, would get checked quarterly. But anybody in that position he'd be getting a monthly piss test.
Mm-hmm. They were saying
or should have been.
There was a doctor on some news channel today while I was flipping channels saying that Obama and Trump were both getting to this day, both getting monthly PSA tests, and they have no record other than February 2024. Again, going to Herm's timeline, like now all three of us have pointed out, kind of backs him into, I'm running for president, I'm backing out, I'm weaving into the background as the election comes up. He had a PSA in February 2024. That's the only one on record.
Well, I'm just going to leave it at this. I like me a good conspiracy theory here and there.
No, not you.
But I would rather, and this is going to sound weird, I would rather it be negligence on the part of healthcare and due diligence than it be a lie.
Yeah.
If it's a lie, I can understand why people are upset about that. And just imagine what would have happened if he had said, when he pulled, instead of saying I have to pull out because I just, because you people are asking me to or whatever, that if it came out that he was dying of prostate cancer at that moment with what was going on in the country,
they would have 25'd him.
The fucking Democratic Party would have completely imploded. It would have been dog eat dog to get to that position, and it would have been even more. It would have been even more of a shit show than it already was.
Well, the first thing
it kind of tracks. It kind of tracks as to why Kamala acted the way she did. Because I would pretty much assure that if it was known, she would have to know. Because if not, that's negligence.
Yep. If they didn't 25 them, no, it's okay. If they didn't 25 them, then somebody's hiding the ball.
And that's what I have more of a problem with. I'd rather it be healthcare neglect than just be a fucking lie.
Yeah,
because we've been lied to. We've been lied to enough in the last 30 years. And with what Kash Patel, with whatever great things Kash Patel is saying he has to throw it on the table about January 6th and this, that, and the third. Is it really going to be anything earth-shattering that I probably don't already know in my head? Probably not.
But the thing is, I'm glad
if we can get the average Joe American to understand and believe it, that's more important.
Mm-hmm.
Smart guys like the three of us.
Get them engaged.
Right. Get them engaged. You can put them in the conversation, include them in the conversation instead of talking down to them.
Mm-hmm. Now,
That's my bit.
My scenario here, which would have been fucked up. It was fucked up enough that, and I said it over the summer, I really didn't care. I wasn't voting for either of them, Biden or Harris, or all three of them if you want to throw Trump in the mix. The only one I liked in that whole soup was J.D. Vance. And a vote for J.D. Vance is a vote for Donald Trump, which is why I did not vote for Donald Trump.
Right.
If they'd have 25'd him, Kamala Harris not only is installed as she was as the Democratic candidate for president, by virtue of being the vice president, she would have been the first woman president on record. And that would have been, and if this is some sort of long conspiracy theory, this is the only reason I think that they would have not done it, is if you're going to have a woman president, you want them to get in the correct way. You want them to get voted in. You want the people to believe. You want the people to cast their vote, and you want them there. Bada bing. If I got to give the Democratic Party any credit, if this is some sort of crazy conspiracy, they did the right thing by not 25th Amendmenting Joe Biden.
See, I disagree.
Why?
I disagree, and I think that placing her in that way and immediately allowing her at the end of her term to write a couple of executive orders that might have changed people's tones with her could have set her up for a much better run at the presidency and given her longer and a more solid look for people and a more solid view for people to take a hold of and get.
Okay, I can see that.
Rather than a complete 11th hour, we've had her for. If we'd have done it early February when he'd done it, we'd have had 6 months of her attempt at least.
Right, instead of 111 days.
Maybe that attempt changes the outcome of the election.
That might have changed my vote, too.
You know what I mean? That longer exposure to her rather than just, fuck, here she is. She's just taking an 11th hour and grab the vote.
I said it when we did the election night coverage. I would like to have heard her put some policies out there rather than making this election a referendum on Orange Man bad.
Yes, not full blown election mode yet. I wanted a couple 3 months of maybe some small executives, administrative shit to
going
see
into
what
the election.
That would have been that. It would have been a great thing to see whether it happened or not, and it could have, and it definitely may have changed people's attitudes come as November as the end of the summer approached.
Mm-hmm. Because Bill Maher put it best. You know, they lost that election for all the right reasons. It wasn't, here's our policy, here's what we're going to do that's grandiose, and here's how we're going to change the game. It was Orange Man bad. We are not Orange Man. Well, I guess I should vote for you? No, I need something. And she gave us none of it. But again, she had 111 days and a what do you call a ticket mate, a running mate? President Biden. He was the president. She's the vice president. He was just not. He wasn't there, and we get it. We know why.
No,
not only
and think about even if it wasn't, even if this wasn't cancer symptom issue. Think about if he knows. You're the president of the United States. You have a rather large plate, and there is a Herm-sized fucking barbecue portion of bullshit on it.
Yep.
Okay. Now, imagine getting that news. You literally have a same size in your head. You have the same size plate sitting next to it. The same size pile, and it's just marked cancer. So if The fact that he was dealing with that mentally, just I could see myself breaking down and not remembering what the fuck I was saying, because at a moment's notice, I'll ask Lynch this. You're in the middle of a conversation, and I'll bet $1,000 right fucking now that all of a sudden your head spirals to the shit that's in your head right now. Yeah, we're in the middle of that. Holy shit, the fucking thing in my head.
It happens to me all the time.
You know what I mean? Like, and when you were going through that, I'm sure there were moments where you're having a conversation and you're on autopilot. Meanwhile, your head is still processing and thinking in your own voice that you're not speaking about shit that you know about what's on that big plate. So,
and it happened. It happened from about August 2016 till 2018 or the end of 2017 when I was done with radiation. I had full-blown conversations with people that I don't fucking remember because I was just, like you said, autopilot. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, don't you remember? We talked about that. When was it? Oh, it was right after you. It was like January 2017. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot on my mind back then. A lot. Like I had death on my mind, and I was kind of not all here. And that's entirely a legitimate possible symptom.
So to me, that's the human side of me is why I hope it was just medical neglect, or a case of he's so fucked up mentally that I've been there. I'm going to lead it right into this. The next thing I want to talk about is I lost a very dear friend to cancer yesterday morning at 5:47 a.m.
Condolences.
I've known her for 30 years. We worked together at the casino. One of the sweetest, like, this is a person you ask why. Why her? Why Missy? She went into a doctor's appointment. She hadn't been feeling well for quite a little bit through 2023. In October 2023, she goes with her best friend Jamie to a doctor's appointment. She's got cancer. They operate. They get under control. Treatment, chemo, this, radiation, and it's under control. She starts getting sick again. October 2023 to yesterday, and she's gone. It spread through
send me her last name later on. Don't say it.
I'll say her name. I'll say her name
Okay.
because, and anybody who listens that knows me and knows Missy, her first name is Micheline Harden. Her obituary, I can text you the obituary. I have it on my phone.
Please.
One of the sweetest women on the planet, and it was a sheer joy to work with. Not a bad bone in her body, and just a nice person. And that's you know, it kind of makes me appreciate what I have.
Right.
And it puts my journey through a completely different lens. Because I had it easy, even though it was hard. I mean, I lost her, and anybody who know her lost her in not even 2 years.
That's crazy.
It'll be 2 years October. It spread to everywhere in her body, and she kept having infections and problems with the chemo ports and this, that, and the other. And then other things would happen because she was sick. Just a little bit over a year and a half. Gone.
Oh, we know it wasn't
So this is why I kind of do believe that now that it's not tying this back to President Biden, it could have happened that quite fast. I mean, she wasn't the epitome of health, but she was in okay shape. She's a little bit older than me. She's had her battles. You know, she's a smoker, she's a social drinker, blah, 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 but she didn't do anything outrageous. She's just a kind-hearted person, and one of the give your shirt off her back. Even when she had nothing, she would still give. That's just the type of person she is. And I woke up yesterday morning at about 6:30 on a day off because I didn't work yesterday. And I just kind of instinctively knew something was up. And she passed at 5:47.
Oh.
First thing I did is picked up my phone. I gotta look at Facebook. And that's the first thing I saw. Fucking floored me. floored me. I'm still floored by it. I haven't been myself for the last 24 hours. And the funeral's next Thursday. And they're giving me work is giving me a hassle. Oh, we have an audit on Thursday. I'm like, guess what? I'm not going to be here.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
I don't give a fuck about no audit.
7 bearings. I'm out of here.
This is a person that's been a part of my life for 30 fucking years and was there for me when I needed her. Fucking made me blankets and quilts when I was sick. Would send home gift baskets when I was out. Are you okay? Constantly texting and constantly asking, which I did the same in return for her on her journey here. If I can just say anything to anybody listening or anybody who gives a shit, fucking pay attention to yourself. Keep yourself healthy. You're number one in your own little world. You may not be the center of my universe, but you're the center of somebody's universe, and you matter to somebody.
Look, man, I think the fact that I haven't died yet clearly indicates that I'm the main fucking character. Okay? With all the shit I've done, I'm clearly the main character. Clearly.
Well,
you do suffer from main character syndrome, but not in a typical way. Shit just happens to you, or you get yourself into shit that should have killed you. I used to do it all the time.
I'm just saying, like, I'm clearly.
Then I hit about 30.
I'm clearly a main character in the storyline of life because I'm not dead yet.
You're easily a main character. I would know. Yeah, not the main character. You are.
Well, in my chapter, in my version, yes, but I am definitely a main character.
Kind of works into. It kind of works into another piece of news, and I'll save that. But sometimes the main character is not as cool as the supporting cast.
Right.
We'll get to that in just a minute.
But when the lights go down in the theater and the movie starts rolling, you're at least number 3 on the title card.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I am, I'm one of the people on the Millennium Falcon. I may not be Han, but I'm on the Millennium Falcon. Okay. So look, like, they said it when Family Guy did. Look, we got like 3 of the main characters in the story on this vessel. There's no way we're blowing up. You know what I mean? I'm on the Millennium Falcon. There it is.
You may be scrubbing toilets.
That's right, but I'm on the Falcon.
I'm on the ship.
That's right.
Motherfucker.
But yeah,
you're definitely in that Tommy Lee Jones type thing. You're a very huge character in the film, but you're not the film.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's not often that. Go ahead, finish your point. I'm sorry, we hijacked you.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
My bad.
I appreciate that. That was a good levity. And to wrap up,
it beats the Herm moment. I almost broke out when you were talking about your friend, and God bless you. Hope you're. Obviously, we know the pain is over for her, and life begins anew somewhere, sometime, some way. I was going to ask you, not to be rude, but I had a Herm moment. What was the type of cancer she was suffering?
I think initially it was bladder.
Okay.
I think that's where it started.
I'm very glad your answer was not anything to do with the bones, because my Herm moment, as we all know, when people die, Herm's the first one to joke. I'm usually second or third, but I'm on the main card, just like Herm. And you said this young lady didn't have a bad bone in her body, and I immediately went to, well, except
just
for that
one with that one with the cancer.
Just that one with the cancer in it.
Just that one with the cancer. When my friend's husband, she was a beautiful soul. No.
My friend's husband died a year ago on Thanksgiving. Like that night, dinner's over. I'm going to go watch a football game, take a nap, died in his sleep. Poor guy. And when I finally got to talk to her a couple of days later, she said something to me like, I need a joke. I need to laugh. You're the guy. And the first thing that came to my mind was, what'd you put in the turkey? Because that's the only way that could explain, hey, I'm going to go take a nap and watch a Cowboys game, and he's done.
So they banned you from cooking Thanksgiving dinner forever, right? Is the family just fucking banned you from
the church group doesn't even want you to bake anymore.
Right? No. The school said no thanks. They're all set with cupcakes for the bake sale too.
Please tell Brienne that she's not allowed to cook ever again.
That Thanksgiving story reminds me of a very quick story about my grandmother Lewis, who could not cook. We did Thanksgiving there exactly once, and she was a big fan of pressure cookers and pressure cooked everything.
Oh, sweet Jesus,
dude!
Oh,
I've never seen a turkey. I've never seen
Lord.
a turkey. I've never seen a turkey cave in on itself like that. It was quite impressive.
Walter.
Except on Christmas Vacation, maybe.
Pretty much, it's exactly what happened. They took the lid off the pressure cooker, and this 20-pound bird just went.
Oh.
And I was like 12 years old. I was like 12 years old, and I look at my cousin. I guess we're having turkey soup for dinner, and I got the fucking death stare.
China House is open. Let's go.
Asylum Street Pizza's open across the street. We're still there. Get grinders.
That's correct. You could have went down to Asylum Street Pizza, Kingwa. Fuck.
Oh, they live right across from Asylum Street Pizza. I used to hang out there all the time when I was a little kid.
Nice. They used to have some of the best pizza ever. Anyway.
On to the next thing.
Memorable people in the movies of our lives who don't always get the top billing, but are the most memorable. We lost George Wendt today. Norm from Cheers, 76 years old.
Heart attack after a swim.
I had heard something along those lines. Yeah,
he's like a world-class swimmer.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was like a world-class swimmer.
Not anymore, right?
Yeah, that last one kind of hit it in for him.
He should have wore his floaties. But you guys have seen, the two of you, and maybe some of you out there who are attached to my Facebook know every couple months I throw out a bunch of those Norms when he walks through the door and the different jokes he would make. To me, I love Cheers, but Norm was the guy. It wasn't Malone. It wasn't Woody. It wasn't Coach or Cliff. Dude, Norm was the guy that made that show for me. 1,000%.
He was the guy I always wanted to see when I watched Cheers. Even now in reruns, he's the best part of that show for me.
Oh yeah, the jokes live. They have legs.
And then when Kelsey Grammer came on, I liked him.
Yep. Put the two of them together. My favorite Norm moment when, what's her name? Lilith is mad at Frasier for bringing the baby to the bar. He'll never learn to talk in a situation like this. No. Afternoon, everybody. Norm. Yeah, the baby normed him, and he stops dead in his tracks. Like, what? This is not right. But he was also. I mean, he had some movie roles. He had some TV roles. Probably his second best role ever was being one of the Bears guys on SNL.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anybody who doesn't remember him as Norm Peterson isn't doing it right.
Well, most kids in their 20s wouldn't know who he is unless they watch old SNL or Cheers.
Right.
So, I mean, you kind of have to give them a pass on that.
Or see the extended version of Michael Jackson's Black or White video where he was the grumpy father.
Yes.
Ah!
Yes. But yeah, he was in a lot of he's a good character actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very good character actor. He was in a horror movie called House.
Yes.
And he with William Catt, and he's like the best part of that movie. Because it's kind of a horror comedy.
Mm-hmm.
From like 1984, 85. It's a very good movie. If you guys are looking for cheesy, if you're looking for cheesy horror,
thank you. You're putting it up on a pedestal. No, it's a very good movie. No, it's not.
Putting it up against fucking Schindler's List, it's a piece of shit. But I mean,
it's not. It's not cinema. It's
entertainment.
Right. It's not cinema. It's movie entertainment.
It doesn't sit on my DVD shelf back in the day next to the Godfather.
It's WWE to Greco-Roman.
There you go.
Exactly.
But yeah,
it's entertainment, sport.
Yes.
Pick your poison.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Did somebody else die?
Sabu died last week.
Yeah, that was last week. I thought somebody else
I don't fucking know. You act like I'm the fucking Reaper here. Chris, who else died? Let me get my book and find out.
Well, you remember the Deadpool?
Yes, I do. I was
from
very good at
20,
that.
from fucking 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Tag, you're it.
Yep. I remember when we actually put down on paper, we made a list of 10, and the rules were you got a point for every year prior to the age 100. And at the end of the year, we tallied up, and I don't think we ever tallied it up.
Oh, no, we didn't. We didn't. But I remember we did that.
Yeah. The Deadpool was always my favorite with the phone. To this day, my friend Nat would, because I did it for so many people, he will ask me, where's my text? And I will have to write a verse of Goodbye Norma Jean to whoever died recently.
Goodbye, Norma Jean.
What was the last one I sent? Let me find. It was about Sabu, because Nat, like me, is a wrestling fan. So I'm going to dig this out since it was just last week. Goodbye, old Sabu. Though I never knew you at all, you always seemed willing and able to crash through a folding table. That's all I sent. Yes, the second twisted minds of us on Dysfunction Junction and the shit that we do for a laugh. If you can't make fun of death, what can you make fun of?
We're not here for a long time, just a good time.
Exactly. We were even nice to each other, Herm and I, since we started this project, when his folks died and then my dad died, we gave each other about a day until we started cracking jokes. Like, let him have a day. Each one of us got a good solid day.
I gave you a couple days. I gave you a couple days.
Yeah,
I gave Herm a couple days too.
You don't want to make jokes. By the way, you got any more of those sock drawers?
Yeah, then everybody died so fucking fast. My mom, my dog, and then my dad. It wasn't a couple days. It was
3 weeks worth of shit.
It was 3 weeks worth of that shit. Like all in 3 months. Like bang, fucking whoa, Jesus.
So funny story in relation to that. When that all started happening and you would send a message, I go, oh fuck. Megan was like, what happened? Herm's dog died. Oh.
Right, Herm's mom died. Oh, fuck. Herm's dog died.
Oh, fuck.
Herm's dad died.
Herm's
Jesus
dad died.
fucking Christ!
I think she said, what the fuck is going on out there?
Who did he piss off in a former life?
Yeah, she goes, you sure he doesn't want to move back? I said, no, he's out there for good now. But it's just one of those things. You know, I'd rather it happen that way, honestly. I'd rather.
Dude, the fact that I didn't lose my shit, strip naked, and run through a fucking grocery store hollering fucking gibberish. I give just
you.
All of a sudden, yeah, am I fine? Yes, I'm good.
I'm good until I'm not.
Shitted itself.
Oh, speaking of shit, have you guys seen the video? Have you guys seen the video of the woman in Pennsylvania who had a road rage incident with this guy behind her? She got out of her car and diarrheaed all over the hood of his car.
Good for her.
Good for her, unless that's your fucking paint job.
Well, it's just. It's not really going to wreck the paint job. It's going to wash off.
There's a high school kid across the street.
It's acidic. It's going to eat the paint right off your fucking car.
Nah.
Go ahead. Tell me more about the story, please.
So I unfortunately had the not pleasure, but I viewed the unedited, uncensored video.
Oh.
I've never seen a shade of brown yellow like that. The kid across the street is in his car. He's like 17. He's a senior in high school. He heard they were arguing for quite a bit through the windows, and he started recording just as she got out of the car, turned around, pulled down her skirt or lifted up her skirt, and just shit all over the hood, like at the hood emblem up the hood. Got back in her car and took off. Well, the kid posted a video online. The guy who she shit on complained to the cops. Yeah, bada bing, bada boom. We know who she is because this kid put it up on fucking social media. He's like a fucking viral rock star now.
She's a serial shitter.
And guess what? She's an OnlyFans content creator.
Let me guess what kind of video she specializes in. Vince
No.
McMahon style.
No. She's toes.
Not anymore.
She's a foot fetishist.
She's You're Afraid You now.
And then she's like engaging on people on the social media platforms, and she said, if some motherfucker wants me to shit on him, give me $5,000 and a bodyguard.
What have we? What?
I've been angry before. I've been very angry before. I've never been so angry as to get out of my vehicle and have the urge to shit on somebody else's vehicle.
Yeah, but I gotta say, like,
I'm like, on a scale of 1 to 10,
I've been honked at. I've been honked at
10.
too fast when a light turns green, and be like, bro, I will park my fucking car and get out and shit all over the hood of yours. I've said it to myself out loud in the car. Somebody literally just went that far.
This is 10. This is way over here. Way over here.
10 is for pussies.
And I've been that angry before.
10 is for underachievers.
I mean, I shit a lot, but I don't think I could just muster one up randomly in traffic. I mean, how does that timing work? Does she have like diarrhea that day? Bad case of stomach bug?
Maybe.
That went in the chamber.
Maybe that's why she was in a bad mood and arguing in the first place.
She just left Taco Bell. Case closed.
I don't know, dude. The color was. Ugh.
I don't know. What is with you white
people
to not be able to eat Taco Bell?
I didn't say us. Saying
you remember the mustard yellow refrigerators when we were kids in the appliances?
The ones that never died.
Add a little brown to that. That's what the color was.
Thanks.
So it very well possibly could have been due to like a meal.
You've got a problem. That's awesome.
I'll just say,
Lynch with excellent detail, ladies and gentlemen. Exquisite.
I spent 20 years. I spent 20 years in surveillance, observing, recording, and reporting. That's my job. I observe, I record, and I report.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did a job for another year doing the same thing. It's in my nature. I see shit. I tell you shit. Sometimes the shit is actually shit.
Well, this time he literally saw shit and said shit.
Right, and as we know from 3 years of doing 3.5, 4 years of doing the show together, you are all about butt stuff.
I just think it's funny. I don't know. I like that Bad Thoughts show, and Marsh said I'm 15 minutes in, and it's all about people's butts and shit. I'm like, it gets better. I mean, if you're Bad Thoughts on Netflix, it's Tom Segura, who is one of the funniest motherfuckers on the planet, stand-up wise. He's very relatable. Talks about his kids. His wife is a stand-up, Christina P. They have a podcast that I listen to. But he's just he's very good observational humor, but he's also very twisted. And it comes out in his stand-up sometimes, like absurd situations. And that's what his show is like, what goes through his head at any given moment of like absurdity. And it's fucking funny. It's not for some people, but I
dig stream of consciousness type stuff like that. But I am drawing the line on diarrhea and butt stuff going forward. They're just, I don't know. To me, I don't need it.
Well, farts are funny.
Farts, no, you can't not laugh at a fart. Turd humor, however, I'm not a big fan. Last time a turd joke was funny to me was when the big brown shark came. That was it.
Big brown
that was
shark.
1982.
Oh. Hey, G.I. Joe.
Yep, G.I. Joe swimming in the water. And then the big brown shark
came. Take a bite out of crime.
Fuck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Craziness in the world, my friends. Craziness in the world. People shitting on cars.
I'm with you on this one. I don't know how mad you have to get before you decide this looks like a good place for a dump.
I'm so mad I'm going to shit on you.
Right?
Yeah, it's just like a new level. I mean, I can understand getting out and beating on the hood, punching the window, bending the antenna or the fucking windshield wipers, because I've seen tons of videos like that. Because I go down those rabbit holes of like dash cam videos, and they're just fucking funny. They're just fucking funny. That just how fast people snap behind the wheel of a car now. And
The
it's
age
just
of,
because
the age of entitlement.
it is, and unfortunately, it's not just younger people.
No.
It's guys our age that are snapping and being assholes and retards about it. I mean, I'll be like, yeah, what the fuck are you doing? But I don't get so mad that I want to hunt him down and run him off the fucking road.
I mean, I would do that before I, drop my drawers and shit on his.
I only did that twice in my life, and I was young. I was in my early 20s.
You shit on somebody's hood?
No. Chase somebody down and pull them out of their car.
Oh, okay. I watched Herm do that once.
I did it once on 184 in Groton, and again once on Route 12 in Groton near the Navy base. And Megan happened to be with me the second time, and we had only known each other for a couple months, and she goes, "Remind me never to piss you off."
And she still married you.
I pulled the kid through his window that was down this much. I pulled him through the window as he gasped for air while I was putting him on the ground.
Jesus Christ!
I think he got the point. No, he literally almost killed myself and a couple other vehicles pulling out of the Navy base.
Oh, okay. Oh, Navy dude.
Yep.
Fuck that guy.
I told him, I said, you almost made a very severe career choice there. You're drunk. You're driving like a fucking asshole. You nearly ran me and the two cars behind me off the fucking road. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, that's an Article 15.
I said, you're lucky it's me and not the cops. And he just got in his car and turned around and went back on base.
With as much driving as I do, maybe I should bring a laxative with me.
There you go.
Now that I think about it. Because, hell, I got cut off on 95 today on the way to Old Saybrook, and some asshole in a little Volvo just decides there's just enough room to get through. I'm coming in. And the tractor trailer that was right in front of me gave him a brake check, and you could almost see this guy's eyes bug in the rearview mirror as I'm right behind him. He's inches from my front bumper. Yeah, dude in the tractor trailer brake checked him. I was like, Now it makes sense. Now I just want to bring a laxative with me. I want to shit on somebody's car and be internet famous.
You got to get a dash cam too.
Maybe I'll just come shit on your car, and you can make me internet famous.
Yeah, well, if you do it in front of the Ring video doorbell, I'll catch it.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
And I do park in the driveway. I don't park in the garage.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't fit in my garage.
I won't give you the soupy acidic stuff. I'll give you like the good giant Christmas Tootsie Roll variety.
Oh, like the emoji.
Mm-hmm.
I said that last week. To Megan. She's going out in the yard. I'm like, watch out for the emojis out in the backyard.
What is wrong with you? What the actual fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, there's lots.
All right. What else was there to talk about this week?
It's about more guys our age, I think. Fucking unions, man. I mean, do we really need them now in this day and age? To give people context, we live near Groton, Connecticut, which is the submarine capital of the world that builds submarines. In Groton and Quonset Point in Rhode Island. Mm-hmm. And they're threatening to strike. Okay, it happens every once in a while. They're union. It happens. They make demands. But I understand somebody that's been there a very long time. Because I kind of went through this at the casino myself when we first went tribal. But I saw why they did what they did. So what they're really complaining about is guys that have been there that have tenure that are making really good money per hour, really, really good money per hour, are bitching that the new hires are making over $20 an hour. That's one of the things they're bitching about. But I only made half of that. Well, yeah, dipshit. You started 15 to 20 years before this kid did.
Bingo.
Guess what? times have changed. Things have moved on. Things got more expensive. So it's proportional to the period of time you're living in.
Yep. Put
Now,
what you made into today's dollars and see what you made back then.
If it would be different, and I would understand this very valid point. If I've been there 15 years, they hire this kid off the street making the same amount as me, I would have an issue. I would have issue with this.
Now,
but this also brings up to me something that I really never cared about. I've never really cared about in my career, no matter what job I had. I don't give a fuck what other people make. I worry about what I make. If it happens to come up in conversation, fine, we'll discuss it. I never pried. I never downright asked. I never hinted around. If I happened to know the pay scale for those positions, I kind of had an idea what this person was making. That's fine. And it's okay to have pay scales laid out in front of you for future moving up the ladder, moving into a different department. But when it becomes a point of contention is that, and becomes, well, you don't deserve that. Well, how the fuck do you know I don't deserve that?
Yeah, and who are you to say I don't?
And unions, and to my opinion of Chris Lynch Esquire, my opinion, unions were great when workers were getting treated poorly, worked hard for shit money. They needed protection. But who started the unions?
Guinea wop bastards like my family. Oh, did I say that out loud?
There was an element of organized crime. You paid your dues, which is your VIG, just like when you shake down for rackets on the streets of Boston, New York, or Providence, which these soldiers would do. That's how they earn money for the family. I'll give you protection. You pay me $100 a week out of your till, you'll never have a problem here. Okay, Mr. Mafioso, here's my $100. I love you. Thank you. Hey, hello, Mr. Employee. I'm here from the union. You pay me $100 a week out of your paycheck. You've got protection. Okay, Mr. Union Rep, Mr. Union President, here you go. It's the same mentality transferred to a professional environment, where number one, it gives some of the union workers, I'm going to phrase this carefully, some of the union workers avail of, you can't touch me.
Invincibility.
I'm union. You can't touch me. The fuck I can't. It's still, there are still some things that are legal for employers to do.
You guys talk amongst yourselves. I have to go visit the neighbor's car. I'll be right back.
Or illegal for employees to do in an establishment. There's laws. It's an archaic, ancient way of giving employees some sort of sense of confidence in their position and job. Now, I'm all for that. I'd like to be able to walk into work every day knowing I still have a job. But I also like to have somebody that if I have a problem, it's going to be addressed. And having worked in a union shop years ago, where I was threatened and intimidated and this and that for crossing the line, because I was a 19, 20-year-old kid putting myself through school and paying for everything out of my own pocket. And I used to tell them, sorry guys, you're not paying my bills. I have to work to survive. Now I get it, you've been here for X amount of years and you can live on what you have. You have a savings maybe. I don't know. I don't know a fucking thing about you. Don't tell me and don't shame me because I make the choice. I'm making the choice to work and put food on my table and keep a roof over my head. Number one, roof. I could live in my car and still be able to eat. But I just see this on Facebook. There's a group of the electric boat former and current workers that just it turns into what the problem with the country is today. It's this way, you're wrong, I hope you die. Whoa, calm your tits, sweetheart. Let's talk about it. Let me understand you, why you have this point of view, and then I'll talk, and you can understand my point of view. Gone. No, you're shitting on your family. Well, I'm sorry, my family lives in a house and sleeps in a bed with me. You ain't family. Now, Herm and I had this discussion in the chat, and he brings up a very good point. Some people like me, that's how I look at work. If I make a couple good friends from a work relationship, and it's happened, awesome. But I tend to keep those people at an arm's distance. It's just me. In Herm's line of work, it's a team. It's a team effort.
But that's usually most blue collar, and that's why that runs that way. And and being in the union and in that brotherhood solidifies that. That's
right. But here's where the hypocrisy falls in. If it's brotherhood, if you and I have a disagreement, as tight as we are, we may get snippy with each other, but we'll talk it, and we'll talk about it rationally. You just don't tell me, Lynch, you're a fucking idiot. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. And I'll never say that to you because you're a smart fucking dude. The hypocrisy lies where they call it brotherhood, but their brothers are the first ones to stab them in their back when a guy's in that situation. And I think a lot of it, having grown up, my father was a union president for years of his local union. I witnessed shit firsthand from about 9 years old to about 18 years old of negotiations when it came to contract negotiations. And my dad said for years, you're asking for too much. You're going to price yourself out of existence.
Break his fucking thumbs.
After my father resigned from the union presidency and the new guy came in, he gave them everything they wanted. And guess what happened in like 1998, 1999?
They broke
a larger nonprofit public utility company merged them all together. Groton, Basra, and there's another, Light and Power. And guess what the starting wage went from? It went from, this is in the 90s, the mid to late 90s. Starting wage was over $22 an hour in 94, 95. That's good fucking money back then.
Mm-hmm.
Their new starting salary, $13.97.
Damn.
Because when all those shops merged, the only ones that stayed the same were the high voltage electricians. Those guys that's like meat cutters union in a grocery store. They are always a separate union, and they always get paid well.
And they get a bowling tournament at the end of every year that Sam and Alice win every single time.
Because in order for a nonprofit municipality to stay in existence, they don't understand the concept. They didn't understand the concept is the city only wants to show revenue generated, just stuff to put back into the company. We don't want to see a lot of extra, and we don't want to see a deficit. Once they go into the negative because of salaries and shit, all bets are off. So that's when, nope, guess what? We're following new guidelines. This is a new start.
We yanked the rug out from underneath you.
Correct. Because it's a nonprofit. Because that was a nonprofit municipality. They can do that. Now, EB is a different story. They're UAW MDA.
Mm-hmm.
Those are acronyms for the unions that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
There's negotiations, there's negotiations between the company and the union reps. There's usually a company HR rep, a union rep, and like a mucky muck of the company. And yeah, your company may make billions and millions and billions of dollars. Just because they make billions of dollars doesn't mean they profit billions of dollars. And even if they do profit billions and billions of dollars, you are only entitled to what they agreed to pay you.
I got a quick question for you.
And if that number becomes too low at any time in your time there, you have a choice. You have a choice. You could either fight for it through negotiations, or you can find somewhere else to work. And I have spoken to no less than a dozen, through interactions and private messages, people from that forum who have told me there is nowhere else they can go in that trade that they're in and make what they're making right now, opening rate.
No.
There's nowhere else to go. In Connecticut, there's only a couple other places. There's Pratt and Whitney, which is threatening to strike, and Sikorsky. But those two are much more meticulous trades. You have welders, but it's CNC machine welding.
Mm-hmm.
It's setup. It's design and setup welding.
Yeah, like I couldn't go there and do the industrial X-ray that I was taught at Pratt and Whitney or Sikorsky. It would require another 2 years of schooling for me to even get to where they need me to be entry level.
EB is one of the best places to get a young kid started in their career. Because within a couple of years, you're making really good money for a 20, 21-year-old kid. And then he learns the trade, he perfects the trade, he wants to go somewhere. Maybe he wants to move south or move to fucking Hawaii. Who knows? Wherever the fuck he wants to move to.
Mm-hmm.
He's more, he can act. Here, kids, when you're a welder and you apply for a job welding, you have an audition. And before your audition, you state the rate that you should be paid, that you think you should be paid. Then you do the audition. They ask you to do several different types of welds, and they grade you on it. And then they'll counter offer. You wanted 42? That's a 32 an hour weld right there. You have negotiation power. That's why it's so important for kids to go to fucking trade school. To fucking get out of this dream of 4-year colleges and being tens of thousands or if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in fucking debt. And that's what frustrates me. These are grown adults who should know this and know better, and then threaten violence on each other.
Yeah.
Because they have a disagreement about what they should be paid. I mean, motherfucker, it's not your business.
There was something you said that's piqued my interest a little bit. In the 4-year college deal nowadays, kids come out of there because they're conditioned to believe that the minute they walk out of the door with their diploma in their hand, that they're going to be making the 6 figures. What they don't understand in these specialized things that they're doing, whether it's legal, medical, what have you, and I'm just putting the top 2 or 3 up on the board. Yes, you graduated the top of your class. Yes, you are going to be a fantastic surgeon someday. But first, come on down here to like bumfuck general. You're going to start your residency. You're going to start at the lowest rung of the ladder in this particular operation, and you're going to learn the craft. No more cadavers. You're doing this on real people now, but you got to learn your craft. You just start at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Oh, Miss Timmy. Nice application here. Very nice college background, resume, and looks like you're well educated. What's your degree in? Oh, I have a master's in library science. Okay. How much are you looking to make? Oh, library science wage, $165,000 a year. Huh. Did you look at the job description before you applied? That large number that college professors and their recruiters and counselors and your advisors flash in front of you between like junior year up until you get into college, those numbers, those salaries,
those are top salaries within your.
Those are top rate salary. And guess what? You know who does make it $165,000 starting wage as somebody with a master's in library science? The federal government. If you have a master's degree in library science, you can work for the federal government for $160K plus a year in library science. The federal government. Good fucking luck.
Yeah.
And I hear stories. My wife's a recruiter. And that's that same story. Well, I went to college. I have 4-year school. I want $95,000 a year. You've
Good luck
worked
with
2
that.
jobs, one of which you worked for 6 months in the summer when you were 16, and the second one was a coffee jockey at fucking Starbucks. What makes you think that you're qualified for this executive position within this organization? I'd like to hear. I'd like to hear.
Mama
Nothing.
said.
You have no work experience. You don't know what it's like to work with other people, other than people grunting coffee out to people. You've never been in
Right.
scenarios where you have to team build and you have to come up with ideas. You did it once or twice in class because you had to, because it's in the syllabus, but you never did it real.
Yeah, there's no real world experience that you've ever gone through. You were at Mohegan Sun, and I was working inside the building, but not for Mohegan Sun, when the dealers unionized. What brought that about? First question. And second, what was the benefit to them to unionize?
Really, there was none. What brought that about is Atlantic City. Atlantic City is full of fucking unions. Most of which there is some sort of veil of protection with that.
Guinea wop bastards.
It kind of backfires when you work for a company that already has an attendance system, an established progressive discipline system.
Oh, what?
In huh?
You froze, buddy.
How am I now?
You're good.
All right. It's kind of hard to unionize in a state that's at will employment. I can quit. You can fire me for any reason. Doesn't matter. Already a company that already has an established attendance system and an established progressive discipline system. The only benefit to being union, if you're a dealer, is that you can grieve hours worked. That you're not getting a fair cut.
No,
you're not
also the benefit was that point system wasn't actually approved by anybody other than use on the casino. It did. The labor department said it did not conform to any labor law anywhere on the planet. All of that, it was all wrong. None of that. So there was a lot of leeway with that bullshit point system after they started.
Yeah, I remember having to go to several of the somebody would have a gripe, they get fired for points, they take it to unemployment. Our department and Mohegan in general would try to block it, and I end up using one of my days off to go down to the Norwich courthouse and have to sit through the hearing. And 9 times out of 10, the people got what they were looking for
because the labor department literally clearly read their policy and went, that's not labor approved at all. So, and the only reason they got away with it is because it was sovereign property, and it was like some of the rules we got away with the health department. They created their own health department, so they didn't have to deal with anybody else's.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was going to lead into my point. The point system is what sold them on that, because people are smart enough and investigative enough to look it up and talk to people in the state. I knew point system legal as fuck. I mean, because it's too arbitrary. Because people they gave managers and supervisors leeway whether you're going to get pointed or not. Then they went super strict and said no matter what. And then departments that
high volume
no
consistency
would give you double points
from opening through that policy. It constantly changed. It constantly evolved. They constantly changed it, and all of that was like bad juju. No, with when the labor and anybody from any labor anything like that, they were like, this one's kind of not really allowed.
Yeah, PCC had a point system too, and they got screwed multiple times when they fired somebody for points. And again, PCC wasn't union, thank God, but there were enough people there that knew people that knew people that knew people, and you know, especially those of us that came from the casino world, who would tell them if they fired you on points, take it to the labor
right,
department.
especially if it was like for being late and shit, because there was no this is your first warning, this is your second one for any of that. They just pointed it, counted it, you missed it, counted it, whatever. Mm-hmm. There was no sick time, there was none of that. So they just counted it when you had to take an emergency. And if you got pointed out for that, basically the labor department went, no, it's kind of fucked up. You don't offer any system that allows them to use personal time other than PTO. And nope, sorry. Give them give the employee whatever they're asking for.
It was after that they offered the 2 personal excused absence days so you could avoid the points.
Which I think was
a PEA, yeah.
Right, that was your PE. You had a PEA, and you could use it, no questions asked for anything.
Yep.
You know, whereas
that was a great system.
It is. It's pretty good. I mean, I get sick time here. Like that's the law. Like I have 80. I'm not accruing any. I literally need to get sick. I told somebody the other day I need to catch the flu or come down with some really bad like amoebic disease for a week.
I'm the same. Look,
because
I'm with her.
I've got 80 hours of sick time on the books, and I don't get sick and I don't take time off. So
I got 96
there. Like, so I need to start scheduling doctor's appointments.
Yeah. Where are you going?
Schedule it with
I was told, just tell them you have a doctor's appointment. They'll just give you the day off and you're good. Oh, all right. I have a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, I think we're all cut from pretty much the same cloth. With the exception of the death of my father, and I am going to count when I broke my back in January of 2024. I have missed 3 days of work in 7 years. I don't know too many people that can say they've missed only 3 days of work in 7 years. So when you have a situation like we talked about earlier about, Lynch is catching shit for needing to go to this funeral, I set my own bar pretty high because when it comes down to something like that, I tell them, I don't ask. I'm not going to be here on like when Mort died. I told my boss, I'm not going to be here on this day. I'll be at a funeral. Well, you have these appointments. I says, well, I've already called and rescheduled, and I'm not asking you. I'm letting you know ahead of time. I will not be here on this day. I will be at a funeral. If there's a problem, let me know. I will come up with something to get around it, but I'm still not going to be here on Friday, November, whatever the fuck it was, because this takes precedent.
Right.
But thankfully, right. I don't have somebody that busts my balls like that. When you build that kind of goodwill, if you will, and you don't miss work and you do extra and you don't ask for much, and I don't ask for much, but when I do, I'm not asking you for your permission. I'm telling you, I will not be here on this day. Figure it out. I'll be back on this day. When I go on vacation to New Hampshire, same thing every year. It used to be in July. This year it's in September. In my line of work, when I was working with Ace, that's a very busy time in the summer because you're now pimping out the fall product. You're getting the inventory together. You're writing up the invoices. You are making your sales for September, October in July. So to miss a week of work in July, people would lose their shit. Don't worry about it. I've got it figured out. All the clients know I'm not going to be here. All my schedulings have been rerouted. I'm good. You're still going to make your nut. I'm just letting you know I will be in Loudon, New Hampshire from here to here. I'll be back on Wednesday. I don't ask for shit. And I think if people, and I'm not saying that everybody should do it this way, but you have to put in the time to be able to have the cachet to be able to do that. You can't just walk in and say, I'm not going to be here. Well, Bill, you've only been with us for 3 weeks. It's been nice working with you. But if you've been doing something for 7 years and you're good at what you do, I've been at this job now a year and I don't ask for shit. I've had to move one thing around. And I said, I'm not going to be here on this day. What do when do you want me to do the things you need me to do? Well, just do it while you're here. We're good. You have to earn that.
Yeah, it's as much as simple as asking a question or making a statement. But my work, I can't really complain because I got to start leaving at 4:30 on Wednesdays for my chiropractor. Okay. Don't worry about punching out. Okay. Very lenient. But I understand why, because this audit's been scheduled for months. I'm sorry, I can't help it that a funeral falls on the day of the audit.
Right.
If my work is important, but this shit comes first in my book. But anyway, back to unions. Back to your question about the casinos. Yeah, the point system is really where it benefited, and then time, shifts. It kind of made it put everyone on notice that you kind of are like unconsciously favoritism in your scheduling for table games. They would put certain dealers on the same. They wouldn't cycle dealers through the high that are qualified for high limit pits or revenue generating pits for the dealers. Let's just
Right.
say. That became a little bit more fair and equitable. I remember when slot attendants went from hourly rate plus just keeping whatever cash they had on them. Let me tell you, my wife did out pretty fucking well because she was good at her job. She came home in the morning when we lived in Norwich. I had a day off and I was laying in bed. She came home at 8:00 and she woke me up. Handful of fucking hundreds like this and started made it rain on the fucking bed.
Nice. Did you do a little dance for her at least?
No, I went back to sleep.
Prick.
Oh, that's nice.
You don't love her.
But yeah, when that went away, you could hear asshole slam shut clear across the property.
When they did away with that, what did they go into a pooling system?
They did a toke rate.
Toke rate?
Toke rate. So your base salary was whatever you made, so $9.01 an hour. Yeah, it's what you're paid to be there by the casino.
Right.
From beginning until they went toke rate, which I think was like 2002, they could keep all the cash they got as tips. So my wife was good at her job, and she was a dual rate, and she was in high limits a lot. And she would have customers that said, "Nope, I only want her waiting on me." And for a $200 hand pay, here's $100. Here's $100. When a guy's sitting there for 8 hours on a $100 machine for 8-9 hours, our bills like they're fucking Tic Tacs.
Right.
And then they could pool their tips. So when you pooled your tips, you agreed with another or two other slot attendants. How many was in your zone? Hey, do you want to pool tips tonight, or are we on our own? And she walked up to these people and said, "We pooling tonight?" This was a different shift. This was like they had a 7 to 3 shift that used to come in, 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. Mm-hmm. No, we're good. Okay. And they were ready to kill her by the end of their shift when they just see the little toke envelopes going in the box. All that had her name on them. Mm-hmm. And she said, I offered.
You could have taken a slice of this pie.
So what happened to slot attendants is they went out and bought, at the time, $30,000 cars. Fucking Beamers and Audis and Jags and this and that. And then that all went away. Mm-hmm. And you went from making, could be thousands of dollars a week, to making a working stiff salary. People's lifestyles needed a serious adjustment.
Quickly.
And that was another department that was looking to unionize. Food and beverage, I think, should always, in a casino environment, and entertainment should always be union.
Why is that?
So again, entertainment, like if you're an arena employee, you only work weekends, and you may only work one of those weekends or two of those weekends, maybe one, because there's a lot of people that do what you do, and they try to schedule fair and accordingly. But that's another department that for years and years and years in AC in Vegas, they would take advantage of it. And they're just the good old boy system. I'm putting my buddy in on this show. Yeah, get fucked. You're not working. You're not working for 2 months. So again, it all comes down to money and favoritism, because that's what a lot of the unions dealt with when they were formed in the early 1900s. Was money sucked, they deserved more, and they treated the fuck ups like kings. Those are the guys that sucked up to the bosses and got what they wanted. They're his brother-in-law, or it's his wife's cousin, third cousin needs a job, that type of thing. So you get that Goomba family element in there. You're like, hey, why do I show up? You tell me to go home. I could get another job. or I could, I don't know, fucking sell piss or my blood. I need something. So that's why unions actually were formed to make it fair for the employees, get a working wage. And oh, by the way, people, unions did not create the Monday through Friday 8 hours a day schedule. They did not create that. Henry Ford created that.
Correct. And now you see people saying, boo him for that. No.
He said, a well-rested employee is a productive employee.
Fuck yeah.
You people are working too long and you're not making enough. So he started his minimum wage for his plant was this, and he gave raises accordingly. I know you're working too many hours and you're going to have weekends off to be with your family because a happy employee is a productive employee.
Mm-hmm.
So well-rested employee and a happy employee. They're happy. They have time off with their family. They don't have to go home, eat, and in 3 hours get back up to come back to work. They're happy.
That was Hershey.
Yes, Hershey.
Hershey did that too, yeah.
Yeah. You guys, I don't know did I tell you guys that I found a new show on Max? It's 6 Degrees with Mike Rowe.
You mentioned it, but you didn't say anything about it.
All right, so
is that Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Doesn't matter. 6 degrees of separation.
Kevin Bacon.
So the first episode it started off during the Civil War and about the quality of the food and that the soldiers were always sick and tired because they weren't well nourished. So this guy comes in, looks at what he has available, changes it up a little bit, and writes a cookbook for the Army. We're going to use this ingredient, this ingredient, this ingredient, this ingredient. And we're going to find the meat fresh, local. Okay, the demand for meat went up after he did that. So they figured out how to make a refrigerated boxcar on a railroad. So that's 1 degree, 2 degrees. Now they needed a place to get that meat quicker. So this dude opens up the Chicago rail yards in Chicago and becomes a meat packing district of the fucking country. So that's a 3rd degree. And then it just goes on and on for how one little thing that starts over here, a simple fix in a cookbook, to end up here today. It gives you a very broad perspective of how one little thing 100 years ago gets you to what you have in front of you today. It's a really, really good fucking show.
Oh, stories like that are always interesting. Like even Mark Summers used to do it. How it gets made.
Oh, yeah.
And
Unwrapped. He used to do Unwrapped.
Yes.
On Food Network, it was about candy and foods and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it offshoot. He produced it. He didn't host how it was made, but it was an offshoot showing you how different things, whether it's a television set or a bicycle.
I love watching those because I'm a fucking dork.
Oh, it's curious to see, and it also gives you a perspective into, again, goes back to why do they charge what they do? I can't believe they charge me this much for this. Well, it's kind of like the restaurant business. You're going to charge X for a dish, and you want it to be 3 times what that's the low base. Herm, stop me when I'm wrong. They say it should be 3 times what it costs to make, but you inflate it because you have to worry about staffing, overhead, food costs.
Yeah, I mean, technically, food cost alone should be 27 to 29%. That's just the cost of food.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So now you have to look at your overhead, paying the bills, staffing being one of them. And so a dish that costs $3 to make will cost you, say, $13.95 to buy, have it cooked, brought to you, etc., so forth. There's a reason for it. It's not just because they want to charge you a butt ton of money, because they have bills to pay too.
Yeah, it's funny about that. Oakdale Pizza down the road.
No, sometimes it's just because I want to charge you more.
That's different.
It is.
I invent a pretty word and label it that way, and I can get $2 more. I'm not going to lie.
Barbecue Sauvignon Barvillon. What is that?
More.
Barbecue beef.
$2 more. That's what it is.
Dale Pizza down the street. The owner's husband is really sick. The owner's husband has cancer, and their food changed. And then I know one of the waitresses who's been there since forever. And I asked her, I said, did you change purveyors? She said, yep. She said, you've noticed, huh? I said, your pizza crust is pre-made, refrigerated, right? Yep. You're using the same sauce. Yep. The pizza's not right. The crust is not right. And then there's other dishes that they, like, my wife loves the salmon bowl there. And the Greek chicken pita. They changed the spices on the Greek chicken pita. I said, they probably didn't change it. They probably come pre-spiced.
That'll make sense.
So now the prices have gone up to reflect that, because once you switch, because what you used to pay for this pizza crust raw, or the raw ingredients to make it, you're now paying probably a third more for that same thing the convenience of a pre-made refrigerated. So that cost goes up. That's why restaurant prices fluctuate.
Exactly.
And don't eat at a restaurant, and Herm back me up on this. Don't eat at a restaurant that has more than like 2 or 3 specials. If there's like 10 specials on the menu, that means almost everything in that fucking restaurant is about to fucking spoil.
No, that's not true.
I'm talking like your mom and pop local shops. Now, a higher end restaurant.
Push the fish, it's about to turn.
On a higher end restaurant where you're like talking like Michelin rated or damn near close, that caliber of restaurant, I expect there to be a lot of specials.
Yeah, like my specials are always, most of my specials are specially ordered in because for that particular ingredient. Like where I work right now, like the specials, like every menu, like we have some standard shit, but then when we go off the rails and get fucking chefy, like we have ingredients imported and shit, special order, shit gets drop shipped from like a farm purveyor. Like we bought some expensive fucking buffalo meat for this particular cut for this particular party. But yeah, like I can under like what you don't want is like certain stuff, like avoid quesadillas like the plague. At just about any restaurant anywhere. Any quesadilla special is the plague. At a barbecue restaurant, probably. Like at a barbecue restaurant, most of the specials a lot of them are recycled. But again, we didn't do that at Noble. All of our specials came up with what we had that was fresh and using it, but we never like recycled shit into we'd rather throw it out.
Right. It was more creation than salvation.
Yeah, like specials sometimes, usually because I don't ever price specials this is me again. I don't price specials with a price to move. And if it is, it's known. You can tell because they're on the menu and they're priced at $10.99. But today they're on the specials board at $9.99. That motherfucker is something I'm trying to push because I'm going to throw it out tonight because that's where it is. Those are definitely, if it's on the menu and they're running it as a special, avoid that shit like the fucking plague.
Yep. No, see, this is a big difference. I'm talking about kids who are cooks in a pizza shop. You're a chef. It's different.
Yeah, I walk into a restaurant at a completely different level where I work at the college.
When I walk into a restaurant, the first thing I look at is the specials menu. How many and how much? If it's cheap, they're getting rid of it. But if something's special on the menu and you're like, well, it's on the special menu, shouldn't it be cheap? Nope, not all the time. Because people who love to cook want to get creative. And that creativity is directly
I hate I literally hate the term special menu, the specials menu. No, tonight we have featured selections and featured selections.
Yeah.
Because it's not that then that's the word. What's the special? No special. If there's a special, I'm trying to get rid of something. Otherwise, it's tonight's featured selections. There's an app.
Like a good dish.
It's that right there makes it $2 more, bitch.
And now your feature presentation.
That's what I'm saying, right there.
CBS movie of the
week.
You
know what I mean? Our featured selections tonight are
Let's
from
all
the
go
stove,
to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
right? The seafood selection, the fish selection. Tonight's
Get yourself a treat.
The beef selection. Tonight's featured beef. Yes.
Well, you
with
can feature
with
your
a
beef,
lovely something sauce.
feature your beef next week because we are out of time.
You got some of them French fry taters back there?
I reckon I'll take the biggins.
I'll take the biggins.
If you guys are adventurous enough, join us at 8 o'clock on the Speedway Review. We talk the truck race all-star for the Cup Series. Braylon's picks. I was going to burn down the house, but it doesn't make any sense to burn down the house. It's the same complaint I had last week about the all-star race.
Right.
And however, I do have a new complaint, and it has to do with celebrities throwing the caution flag. So stick around.
Who dropped it?
Michael Waltrip, that jackass.
That was MW?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Because I only saw the very end of the clip. I'm like, that looks like Mikey Waltrip.
Nope, that's who it was.
Wait to hear. I'm gonna give you what I was watching. A split screen during this race, and I'm like, okay, this doesn't make any fucking sense. And then he goes and drops the fucking flag because he's an idiot, and he should be far away from NASCAR. He should be running a bowling alley from like 2 to 7 in the morning.
It's Mikey Waltrip.
I don't care.
I mean,
Daryl wouldn't have dropped it.
He's always been a clown.
That's true. Daryl wouldn't have dropped that flag.
Daryl wouldn't have known to let go of it.
That's true. He'd still be waving it today.
That's an insider joke.
Yeah, it is. All right, kids. We will come at you next week with some more bullshittery, chicanery, and otherwise ridiculousness. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Leave a review, subscribe to the show, leave a thumbs up, and as always, we will see you a week from today.
Like and
subscribe.
I'm going to start online dating, and I'm just going to throw a dick pic up there. And thank you for the catchphrase, Herm. This is your featured meat selection.
Very nice. Tonight's featured beef selection.
Hey. Come look at my hemorrhoids. Does it look funny?
Oh, man. Everybody have a good night.
Peace, bitches.
Can you push that